Hello everyone, welcome to Just Invest Today. And today we're talking about Alibaba. And if there's trouble in paradise for Alibaba, man, Jack Ma has been going through the ringer. Ant Group has been hit by so much different news cycles, news articles. There's so much to talk about. There's still anti-monopoly stuff happening in China. China is going through this economic cycle that people are talking about it. We are going to get into it in this video. Let's see what Alibaba is doing, what the future has in store for Alibaba, because remember, 2022 should be a good year for Alibaba if things go smoothly, but who knows. But before we really get into this video, guys, can you please like this video, subscribe to my channel? I'm always providing you with so much new content. Like it, click that subscribe button right now. Click it, click it, click it. So let's first talk about Alibaba, man. Earnings is coming up soon. Super excited for earnings. See what Alibaba is doing. I definitely have to make a video about the earnings of Alibaba. I think that's next week. We can still see Alibaba's price hasn't really been moving. It went from 137 in January 13th, down 13%. We understand why the Nasdaq has been getting hit hard. China as well, which is surprisingly, has been getting hit with the same news as everything happening in the US and Canada and every other market. But the thing we can have our hopes on is that the government did cut rates in China. So if you cut rates on the interest rate, you are actually incentivizing people to borrow more money so they can spend more. So that's what the government has done in China. That is a super positive thing for Alibaba. As we know, e-commerce is huge in Alibaba and it's growing at like 7-10% a year, probably more. It depends on the economic times. So people are going to borrow more, they're going to spend more. So this is amazing for Alibaba. But then we go into articles and people talking about anti-monopoly stuff like this. If you haven't followed this girl, you got to follow her on Twitter. She talks a lot about China and what's happening in the market. Ruma, in case you thought antitrust was going away, do remember again that the vice minister at SAMR was appointed head of the new National Anti-Monopoly Bureau in November 2021. Experts expected to be semi-autonomous body under SAMR, likely with more permanent staffing. So there's going to be permanent staffing in the anti-monopoly body. And this is huge news because remember where China's trying to go and what they're trying to do. They're trying to establish a market with fair competition. They want fair competition in the whole Chinese market. They want to kind of mirror what's happening in the US, as there's a lot of anti-monopoly stuff going on with Facebook, Google, Apple. They're trying to do that. They're trying to do the same thing because remember, China wasn't regulated like that. These rules have just came into place. So without these rules, without these regulations, people were doing whatever they want in China. So now the government is bringing that back. And we can already see what's happening. This is just a new article. China's vape queen hit by Beijing investigation. And this is what I'm worried about with Alibaba. People will always keep down the share price of Alibaba as long as Chinese investigations, anti-monopoly stuff are front and center in the news. And this is just hitting the streets right now. Probes come as Xi Jinping reinvigorates his long-running anti-corruption campaign. An investigation in Chinese vaping tycoon Chen Lam sent Hong Kong listed shares at Huabei International Holdings tumbling by 65%. Crazy. Look at this stock. This stock went up 600%. That is crazy. Imagine you bought this at 316 or 307 in Hong Kong. Man, the huge run up, man, like that's crazy. But look what happened. It dropped 22.55 Hong Kong dollars all the way down to 5 Hong Kong dollars. Crazy downwards trend. That's almost a 75% downwards trend, man. I'm shocked. This is a matter of 5 days. 65%, 75% downtrend in 5 freaking days. That's what people are afraid about when it comes to Alibaba, Tencent, JD.com. They are afraid of Xi Jinping just hitting them again. So investors, institutions, they're always having that one eye open. China's richest self-made woman was a majority stake in the tobacco flavoring and fragrance company. So that's what they do. So this is the investigation they're having. They're not sure what's going to come up in this regulation, in this investigation? Like, is she gonna be suspected of violations of anti-monopoly practices? Were they favoring her when they're making up these products, when they're distributing these products? Like, what is gonna happen with this? So remember, this is all affecting Alibaba. Anything that happens in China now, US investors, European, Canadian, have their eyes open. And remember, a lot of the stock price of Alibaba comes from the New York Stock Exchange. You can't discount that. That's where the run-up of Alibaba was, the front and center. Because remember, a lot of Chinese people don't invest still. They don't buy stocks. So the stock market in the New York Stock Exchange is crucial for Alibaba at this moment right now. It's starting to pick up back in Hong Kong, but remember, New York Stock Exchange is still the leading stock exchange. And then we move to Jack Ma and what Jack Ma has been up to. He can't get out of the news. So I just had an article of what was happening with Jack Ma and how a state official was investing in Ant Group, but he backed out of what was happening in Ant. And then this article came out. Jack Ma's Ant Group implicated in corruption scandal by Chinese state media. So they're presenting a case. This is like a documentary in the media. They didn't list his name exactly, but they're saying Jack Ma invested in the two companies for a former government official. China's state broadcaster has implicated Jack Ma's Ant Group in a corruption scandal, ratcheting up pressure on the billionaire following a crackdown that has wiped billions of dollars from its internet empire. So this is just going off of the back of everything that Jack Ma has been through. His disappearance, how they stopped the IPO, what Jack Ma said, and how that just affected the government and kind of put forth all these anti-monopoly rules. A documentary on the state-run China Central Television alleged that the private companies made unreasonable high payments to the brother of a former Chinese Communist Party head, Hangzhou, on an eastern city that is home to Ant Group headquarters, in return for government policy incentives and support with buying real estate. So they were able to buy premium real estate in the stateside place. On top of that, they were giving government incentives, and all Jack Ma had to do was invest in his companies, his brother's company. So, man, oh man, like, is the government gonna look into this? Because look what just happened. This is just a suspected investigation. And we know Ant Group has a huge implication on Alibaba and what Alibaba does, its share price. Because remember, they have really good backing with all their financial planning, with their financial payment system, with all of that for Alibaba. So how is that going to affect Alibaba's share price? And what earnings coming up, we are going to see the full effects of everything that I've been talking about, what's happening with Baba, how they kind of fighting off competition in the market as JD.com and PDD become bigger, live streaming becomes more of a fact in the Chinese economy and how it produces e-commerce income. There's so much going on in China that we have to like keep our eyes open. Just keep an open mind right now, because there's different policies makers doing stuff in China. And remember, Xi Jinping has final say. So we're going to look out, see what Baba does, man. And where do you predict Baba to go in 2022? Can you see it recovering back up to its true share price, man? Like around 210. I'm going to do another video on a stock analysis on Alibaba. But guys, please like this video, subscribe to my channel. I'm always providing you with so much new content. Peace!